Hey, peace, diehards. We are up this early Sunday morning to talk some Knicks again. Knicks media propaganda, man. Media keeps flipping the script on us. First we're good, and then we're bad, and we're good again. But they never give us any credit, man. So I got a man D-Trav from the Knicksatnite TV podcast, and we're gonna talk about it, man. So without further ado, the Knicks podcast. Let's go. Hey, man, what's going on?
What's up, my man? How's everything going?
Everything's good, man. Good to see you as always. We were talking offline for a little, man. I like the Knicks community, man. We got some funny guys, man. You're a funny dude, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the whole media propaganda thing, man. This is actually like your idea. So coming on the podcast to do that, thank you very much, man, for coming on with me. Yeah. But you actually play ball, right?
Yeah, that's where basically I know on my channel a lot of people ain't seen me in a while, due to the fact that I've been training and practicing and playing in summer tournaments this year. So between work and training and all these tournaments that I've been playing in, I really have a lot of time to film. But yeah, I played in a Rucker this summer. I played at Ronnie Park. I went back to my old neighborhood in Brooklyn, and I played at Wingate Park in a tournament called Dunker's Delight. Remember I told you Obi Toppin's father, his name is Dunker's Delight, but that was also the name of a tournament. After 10 years, is it 10 years? Yeah, after 10 years, they brought that tournament back this summer. So, I had to go show love to my old hood. They call me Kobe back over there. That was my nickname growing up since I was like 15, 16 years old. Mm-hmm. I played in another tournament in Zone 6. It's called Zone 6, which was in Bed-Stuy over there on Lafayette and Marcy Avenue. So, yeah, I've been playing. My old self, 39 years old, man. I still got it. I was training. You know what inspired me to keep playing is that I would go to the park and play once in a while against these young kids, and I was doing my thing, and I'm like, come on, I'm 39 years old. These 25-year-old guys still can't handle me. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna come back out this summer again and give it one more go. I feel like I'm still young at heart,
That's good, man. At least you're in good shape. I've seen you in person. We met a couple times. You're in decent shape. Me, on the other hand, you know what I'm saying? I got my asthma pump on deck just in case. The last donut I had is gonna be my last one. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. But you know what? People listen to you say, oh yeah, blah blah. They used to call me Baby Kobe. They don't believe you, man. Right? So here, let's go to the videotape. I like that little slow mo for the movie you did there, man. So yeah, so you really do play basketball, man. Shout out to Dudu Baez, man. Those guys in Williamsburg, they have that tournament. I actually bombed that court with all my Die Knicks stickers. I don't know if you noticed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right at the basket, right on one of the poles. Mm-hmm. I put a sticker on there. One of the backboards actually slapped one on the backboard. And basically all the poles have it, and then I think the corner on the far end by the highway where everybody sits down at, I put a few sticks there too.
Yes, sir. So, you got to represent the brand at all times.
Yeah, man. I haven't had a chance to watch any basketball this year, though, man. So
the marketing don't stop.
Yeah. So I mean, the tournament season is basically over now, right? This is like the last weekend.
In Ronnie Park? Well, I'm done in the Rucker. I'm done. In the Dunker's Delight, and I'm done. Zone 6, everything is done besides I'm playing in Ronnie. I still got like 2 more games before the playoffs, Ronnie Park. Okay. And then there's another tournament that they got going up in Westchester, but that's inside though. That's in the gym that I'm playing in. So that one is still got a couple more games to the playoffs too. But mostly all the tournaments are done.
Yeah, but I think West Fourth is over right now too.
Yeah, West Fourth is over. A couple of those layups that you see me doing at the Rucker when I got the Lakers. It's funny, I got the Lakers yellow on. One of the layups, you see me bumping to the guy and lay it up. Who's that? You know who that guy was laying up? That was Smush Parker. That was guarding me.
Oh, so that's why he threw you. That's why he threw you to the side.
Yeah,
Swiss Parker. Yeah, he was a beast
Parker.
back in the days, man. You know, when in his prime, especially the West 4th Street stuff. I used to watch those guys all the time. Oh, Junie Sanders too.
Yeah.
You know, him and Junie Sanders, they was on the team together. That was like a lot of fun to watch back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because you know why that's so funny? Because I had on the Lakers yellow and purple.
Yeah.
And Smush Parker bumped me, and my nickname is Kobe. You know, Smush Parker be doing interviews about Kobe that Kobe's not, well, God rest Kobe. So hopefully Smush Parker's not doing that anymore since Kobe passed away. But, you know, he used to have this big beef with Kobe Bryant, saying Kobe Bryant was a bad teammate, you know?
Yeah, so he was saying when he saw you with the yellow, and you had number 8 too, right? So he was getting flashbacks back in the days and shit. That's cool, man. Yeah. I see your hops is gone though.
Definitely. But you know what? If I lose about 10, 50 more pounds, I think I could get it back. But some of those highlights are a little deceiving because, all right, when I was training, I kind of overdid it. So what happened was I kind of got like a heel spurs and plantar fasciitis. So some of those highlights you see me, I'm actually playing on one foot because my right heel was messed up in some of those highlights. So I'm like limping on the court, still trying to do moves and stuff because I wanted to play so bad. You know, I would rest it for like a week and then go try to play, and then in the middle of the game, it will pop out like, you know, it will start hurting again. So that's why sometimes when you see me go to the basket, I'm just like, yo, let me just hurry up and get it up there. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I can't explode like I used to, and plus I had a minor injury, you know.
Yeah. But well, you know, finishing with both hands definitely is going to help with that.
Yeah.
So so it's fun. It's fun to put that out there just for some Knicks fans to see, because not everybody is just a bunch of talking heads like the media. You know, the Knicks media. You know, propaganda. You know, just to add the segue to that, man. But you know, a lot of us actually play. We actually played before, and we talk basketball all the time, man. So we know what we're talking about, man. So, how do you want to attack this media thing? What's the first thing on your mind with this?
Well, I'm not going to say their names because, you know, I don't ever give these guys any light on our platforms. You know, This is for us. We here to represent the fans, to represent the culture. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to just say outrageous things just for clicks, you know? So the first thing I wanted to mention is that, you know, some people in the media, no names, you know, have us fighting for a playing spot after we was the 4th seed last year. So basically they saying that last year was a fluke. You know, there was a lot of injuries in the NBA. And, you know, we caught teams, what they said is we caught teams off guard because we play hard every night, you know, and teams usually not used to teams playing hard every night. So basically what the media is saying is that they're going to be ready for the Knicks this year. They know when they go against the Knicks are going to play hard. So therefore, they're not going to be caught by surprise, which is going to lead us to being around the 8th or 9th seed for fighting for a playing spot. And I absolutely do not agree with that. According to our key additions that we had this summer from free agency, as you know, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, and the people that we drafted in the draft, you got Miles McBride, you got Quentin McGrime, the kid Simmons, and we brought everybody back, you know, from last year. I think people are sleeping on continuity and having the same team that you had last year and running it back as far as familiarity with the team and, you know, chemistry. People will keep forgetting that chemistry is very important when it comes to basketball. So I just wanted to touch on that, the team chemistry, the key additions, and why do I think that, we could probably do the 4th seed again, maybe even better. I don't agree with some of the key additions that other teams is that going to make them so much better than us. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. You know, just shout out to the chat, everybody to say Knicks community, movies and stuff. I never seen movies and stuff before. We got Robert Parrs here, also Supreme Lord, I guess that's how you want to call yourself. But Robert Parr, he's saying like the media still living in the past, bringing up all the bad years and all this other stuff. So I think that's what it is too, man. They just are stuck in the past of how much we've been losing and whatever. They don't want to give us the credit. But even when we were winning, even back in the days, like in the Ewing era. And even when we were winning with the Melo era a little bit like that, they never give us credit for nothing. We make it to the finals, you know what I'm saying? They already, you know, threw us down that we weren't going to make the playoffs again. That's how it always is with the Knicks. It's just not fair. And what I want to say too, just to add on what you're saying, is it's like we made the playoffs, we did everything that we did, but like they analyze it so heavy just to say that, oh, Knicks, the other teams are going to be ready for us. They're breaking it down so hard just to hate on us.
Right.
I never seen that in my life, man. As any fan base across the world, soccer and all this stuff, nobody talks about a team the way that they talk about the Knicks. I mean, like the Yankees maybe, but it's really more crybabies because they think everybody wants the Yankees to win every year. So if the Yankees don't win, everybody's crying.
Right.
But it's not the same here with the Knicks. With the Knicks, if the Knicks win, you would think that we lost every single game.
Right.
The way that they analyze our stuff. So it's just not fair. It's really not fair. Shout out to Kendrick Perkins too, because Kendrick Perkins been talking great about us all year. And then all of a sudden now his last take was saying that we're not going to make the playoffs now. But yeah, he was just talking. They must have gave him a bug in his ear and said, "Listen, man, all that good Knicks stuff, man, is not getting any clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to throw something in there." So that's what it is. It's the business of just negativity. That's what sells these clicks and stuff. Which is unfortunate, man.
Right. I'm going to go to NBA.com real quick. I want to go to the regular season standings, how we ended the year, the teams that was underneath us that they have above us this year.
All right, on the screen, I'll put up Basketball Reference.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the Eastern Western Conference.
Right.
Let me see. I'll break it down to the division standings. So what are you seeing here?
So that's the division, right? So we was above the Hawks, so they saying the Hawks is going to be better. What was the key additions for the Hawks this year?
Just the draft. I don't think they did anything else besides the draft.
Besides the draft.
Yeah,
so
they
Hawks,
didn't sign any new players, anything like that.
And didn't they lose Lou Williams?
Oh yeah, well, Lou Williams, I forgot what team he signed for.
Right.
But outside of that, they didn't add anything to the team that I could think of.
And Lou Williams was a key player for them. If you notice, when they took Trae Young out the game, and when the Knicks was playing the Hawks in the first round, it was Lou Williams who I was doing the scoring and giving us problems when Trae Young wasn't in the game. So you could cancel that team out. One team that they think is still going to be better than us, they actually lost a player when we got better, and it seems like losing Lou Williams will make them worse. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because I mean, right now they don't have a backup point guard because Lou Williams is basically the backup point guard for them over there. So now they're relying on Sharif Cooper to be that guy, and we already know that Sharif Cooper's in McBride's back pocket right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you want to contain him, just put McBride's in the game.
Right.
So yeah. So I mean that's the thing. I'm not going to give a team credit if they didn't get better. The Knicks got better, and we get no credit. But Atlanta automatically they're going to be the best team in the East just because you said so. That's not how it should be. It should be a little bit more, objective. With the commentary.
All right. Who else was underneath us? Let's go with the Miami Heat. All right. So their key addition is we can't even count Oladipo because he's still not going to play, and you don't know what he's going to bring. So cut him out. And then their point guard is now Kyle Lowry. So do we think that Kyle Lowry is that much of a difference maker? I think he's a great defender. He's a great team leader. But is he a superstar that's going to bring them over the hump? They didn't even did he make the playoffs or they was in the playing game?
Toronto, I don't think Toronto made the playoffs.
No, I'm talking about the Heat. The Heat.
The Heat, yeah, they made the playing game at the end there.
Okay.
But I think I forgot who knocked them out. They had got knocked out early in the playing stuff.
Right. So their key addition is Kyle Lowry. I know you're thinking when I said Kyle Lowry, you're thinking about him being on the Raptors, but he's on the Heat now.
Yeah.
He's on the Heat now. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna make that much of a difference personally. I don't know.
Well, for like a team standpoint though, like they're trying to bring the 90s back with that team because they got Lowry to increase the defense. They got Jimmy Butler over there, Bam Adebayo. They got PJ Tucker. That's one guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So adding PJ Tucker, I guess he's gonna be in their starting lineup. So they looking to fight Giannis in the playoffs. They looking to fight, KD and stuff like that. They looking to like really start. Because they see what the Knicks did. That's one thing too. The Miami Heat saw what the Knicks did, and they actually copied us, which is interesting. You know what I'm saying? Trying to increase the defense or whatever, because they could see that that's something that the NBA is going in that direction now. With all these superstars and stuff like that being able to score, there's nobody to sign. So if there's nobody to sign, then you have to combat these guys. So I think, like I said, adding PJ Tucker to fight these different guys, and maybe Lowry, just from a team standpoint, I could see what they're trying to do.
Right.
That,
I think it's a possibility they would be better than the Hawks, but I don't guarantee them being better than us.
Yeah, me either. Because I mean, right now with our four guys, I'm looking at like that. The four guys we have: Julius, RJ, Kemba, and Fournier. If these guys stay moderately healthy throughout the year and stuff like that, we're talking about that all these guys didn't average less than 17 last year.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All four of the guys. Fournier averaged 17. RJ Barrett averaged 17. Kemba's a 20-point a game scorer, and Randall's a 20-point a game scorer. So you're talking about four guys that can really put the ball in the basket.
And don't sleep on good. You bring up a good point. Don't sleep on Derrick Rose either, because if you look back, he could get about 17 too. He could get about 17, 18 a game also. And I wanted to bring that up. That's one of my key points I wanted to bring. Like, the Derrick Rose re-signing is a big plus to have him to come off our bench, and that's a good tandem to have Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose. That's almost like 30-something points combined with them, eat together. So if you look back to the playoffs, so when we was playing against the Hawks, if you look at the numbers, believe it or not, Derrick Rose was our best player. He was our best player throughout the whole series. Maybe the last final game, which was game 5, we lost in 5 games, right? So maybe our last final game, that was his worst game, but I think he checked out early that game, in game 5. But the first 4 games that he played, he was the best player. Julius Randle didn't show up to the last 2 games of the series. You know, so by that time it was already over. Julius Randle want to show up, but it's basically over.
Yeah.
But the first 3 to 4 games, it was all Derrick Rose. He averaged about like 20 points, I believe, throughout the first 4 games.
Yeah, I think he had 30 points. Did he have 30 points twice, or he had I think he did, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, and then even up until last year, before the playoffs, what did they? They were saying that after we added Derrick Rose to the roster, the Knicks got better as a team. So we can't sleep on Derrick Rose being on the team and the effect he has is coming off the bench and going against the second unit. Yes, he's older, but he still has the mind and the IQ to take these young players that's coming off the bench. They still can't hang with him.
Yeah. That's very important, man. Because you're going from Walker to Rose, so you don't lose. You don't lose any intelligence. You don't lose any scoring ability. Also, Derrick Rose can shoot just as well as Walker at this point of his career.
41%.
So it's basically, they're basically the same player. Coming in for each other. And then also shout out to Alec Burke, because Alec Burke has been a double-digit scorer his whole career.
Right.
He averaged 15 points a game with Golden State before he got here. And, he actually held us down a lot this year, being a closer at one point for us, scoring 30 points sometimes, this, that, and the other. Yeah. Also, shout out to Quickly. If Quickly was on a bad team, he would be a starter, on a bad team. Like I'm talking about a team that has no chance to make the playoffs. Let's say if Quickly was on Detroit instead of, what's the kid they got over there? I can't think of the kid's name, but let's say if Quickly was over there instead of that dude.
Killian Hayes?
Yeah, Killian Hayes. Quickly will be averaging like 20 points a game over there. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. But these are the guys that we have coming off the bench. So the talent level is there. And I feel like to say that we're not going to make the playoffs and all this sort of stuff, it's just not fair. You're just not really analyzing the roster properly.
Ero, if you look at our roster, we have a case to be one of the deepest teams in the East, and it's just a disgrace that the media would say that we're going to be in the playing game, but we're one of the deepest teams. Now, if you look at our starting lineup, if we're going to go with Kemba Walker, RJ Barrett, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Now, who you got backing up Mitchell Robinson? Noel, who was a key player in our playoffs. Yeah, he was a key defender. He helped shut down the paint, hustling, getting rebounds, tapping out rebounds.
He saved our season too, man. He for that 41-31 when Mitchell Robinson went down, he held us down.
Exactly, and we got him coming off the bench now. Now Julius Randle, who's backing him up. Obi Toppin, he actually played well in the playoffs. He had a subpar regular season, but playoff time he actually stepped up and he showed that he had heart, and it continued into the summer league. He actually played good this summer league. So it's not going to be a lot of pressure from Obi Toppin coming off the bench. But I guess the second units, like I said, Obi Toppin, that's a good backup for Julius Randle. Now, depending on who you got a small forward, whether it's Evan Fournier or RJ Barrett, The backup small forward is going to be Alex Burks. Like you said, Alex Burks in the playoffs, I think the first game he had like 30. In the first, he had like 30 points. So he's now coming off our bench, a key play that could get, like you said, 16, 18 points a game. He's coming off the bench. Now you go to shooting guard. Let's say RJ Barrett's the shooting guard. The backup shooting guard is going to be Quickly. Didn't he make one of the all teams for rookies last year?
I believe he made the second team.
The second team.
All-rookie.
Second team all rookie. And you see what he does. The kid has tremendous range. He can handle the ball, and his flow of the game is crazy. He's the backup shooting guard. And once again, we're going to go back to the backup point guard is Derrick Rose. Our backup team, our five coming off the bench, can actually win a couple games starting in the NBA. So how can they say, you come up, you start Derrick Rose, Quickly, Burks, Obi Toppin, and Noel. I'm sure we could win a couple, beat some teams with that. Some of the bottom teams like the Pistons and the Magic and the Cavaliers, we could probably beat them with that team.
Yeah, imagine that. This guy Popovich used to do that with the Spurs. He used to just take the whole starting lineup out and just put the bench in there, and they would actually win. I think they beat Miami one time on TV.
Right.
With the starters all taking a rest and stuff like that. So I mean, like the Knicks can actually flip the script, put the bench as the starters, and have the starters as the bench, and it's still going to be the same outcome. Right. I mean, that's another thing too. Just the simple fact that. Like it's like two different playing styles. So once you prepare for that first unit, now the whole game changes once the bench comes in, because those guys are going to be looking to run, especially with Obi and Quickly and Burks and stuff. They're going to be looking to push the envelope, and then like as the game goes along, according to who's rocking, that fourth quarter is you don't know who's going to be out there. So I think all this is keys. That's going to get us to basically possibly getting us back to that fourth seed again. Definitely not a plan. So I mean, to me, like as a Knicks podcaster, like people want to throw the homer thing at you, but like to be a homer, you have to say like, people are gonna get on me because I keep mentioning the kid's name, but Franklin Akina, right? Like everybody say that Franklin Akina is not gonna give you no wins. You know what I'm saying? So like to say that is like that's a delusional Knicks fan. But right now, the way that me and you are breaking it down and how these guys can improve the team, this is not a Knicks fan being delusional. This is facts, because like I said, we're here to break down basically the whole East here. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about everybody's roster and this and the other, but talk objectively. Look at our team.
Exactly. Like I said, I'll give the Nets. The Nets, yes, they have a super team. We don't have a super team to compete with the Nets. We will have to be in our best defensive bag, in a game against them in order to compete with the Nets. The Milwaukee Bucks, we already know they're the defending champions. So once again, but we played them good last year when we both the Nets and the Bucks, with less offensive weapons. We played both of those teams good last year. I actually think we blew out the Bucks one of the games that we played against them. If you recall, but that was
that first game. Yeah, that first game we played against them. I think we just smacked them that first game.
Yeah, so I'll give the media the Bucks and the Nets, but as the Sixers go, I don't know what's going on with the Sixers, right? Ben Simmons is not picking up his phone. He's thinking he's gonna get traded. His mind is all messed up, So yeah, he just seen his ex-girlfriend in the championship with Devin Booker. She went from a loser to a winner. We don't know.
And also too, Andre Drummond got what's the name? Joel Embiid got real estate, in his mind and shit,
Yeah,
from their competition against each other.
Right.
Isn't that weird? Why did Andre Drummond sign with Philly out of all teams? He could have went to a team that actually started, but he said, "Yo, let me go to the guy that has me in his back pocket." You know what I'm saying? Why would he do that?
You know what? That might have been all friendly banter. Like on the court, I'm gonna clown you. I'm gonna go against you. Do anything it takes to get in your head. It's kind of like Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan. Remember, Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing was very good friends. But on the court, he'll dunk on you and throw him on the floor, scream in his face, say he hate the Knicks. But in the offseason, him and Patrick Ewing are conspiring to play with each other. And you see what I'm saying? So it could be one of those things.
They never did, though. They never did. They never. Ewing was like, man, I ain't going over there. And Jordan was like, I ain't going over there neither, because it's the competition. Right. So I mean, like, if a guy tells, let's say, like I'm saying, you really play basketball,
Right.
So let's say you got your guys, you on your team or whatever. Say like next season, Like the guy that said, "Yo, man, you got real estate in your mind or whatever." If you say some slick shit like that, to me, that's like fighting words right there. So if somebody says that to you, like, are you gonna be like, "Yo, you know what? I'm gonna go on that guy's team next year."
Right. And how old is Drummond? I might say, you know what? It might be the new era. That's how the new era is. I even see it in street ball. I'm not gonna mention no teams of street ball because I don't want nobody coming for me. But they do the same thing now. They try to create these super teams. They model themselves after the NBA. And I'm looking at it like, bro, if you're supposed to be the best in your neighborhood, he's supposed to be the best in his neighborhood. You want to go against him? That's competition. You want to have bragging rights. But these guys are not like that no more. They're like, you know what? If I could team up with you and we could win the championship, I don't care if I average 5 points or whatever anymore. And, you know, I'd rather just win the championship and follow the footsteps and be friends with everybody. You know, that's just the way it is now. So I don't know. Maybe Andre Drummond was like, listen, man, it was all fun and games. And Joel Embiid is one of my favorite players, and I don't mind playing with him, you know?
But, yo, Andre Drummond is 28 years old now, man. He's like in his prime. Yeah. He's in his prime of his career, and you decide, you know how much he makes? $2 million a year for next year. $2 million.
He probably feels like he's a key addition to the Sixers, and he can help them get to the championship. Who knows? I don't know.
Oh, man.
Remember? Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, and I think Andre Drummond realized that through the buyout, he got picked up through the Lakers through the buyout market, right? I think he realized that his value in the NBA, that's why he signed with the Sixers, is not very high. Because when he was on the Pistons, it was the Pistons, right? Or was it the Cavaliers? Was it the Pistons?
Yeah, the Cavaliers, I think, was well, it was both teams. He was on both of those teams.
But which team did he finish out with?
I think Cleveland. Cleveland was the last one he was
on.
All
right, so when he was on Cleveland, they was trying to get rid of him for a bag of chips, and nobody wanted him. So you know, so I guess he figures now. Like, remember, the Knicks was thinking about getting him. A lot of teams was thinking about trading for him, but nobody budged. You know, so I think he knows that his value is not as high as he thinks in his head. So he's just like, you know what? I'll be a backup center to Joel Embiid, and maybe I'll ride his coattail, and then something good to come out of it.
Yo, man, his agent has got to be like the worst, or whoever is in his ear, because I mean, like nobody wanted him just because he was making like 27 mil, so nobody wanted to make that trade. The Knicks could have done it. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't do it. They held on to their chips and whatever, which was a good idea. But future wise, like he went to the LA Lakers to like ride the coattails to a championship. Right. You know, that didn't work out for him. You know what I'm saying? So given the fact that all that stuff that nobody wanted to trade for him, and now everybody's really analyzing, is he even a max player? You know, they're really going crazy with the analytics and stuff like that. So now people are ready to make the decision that he's not worth nowhere near $27 million, right? So then you go to the Lakers to ride a championship. That didn't work. They didn't re-sign you. They went and got Dwight Howard back, you know, and they already got their history. They already had Dwight Howard twice already. So this is like the third time they got Dwight Howard. So that what does that say about you? So now you went from $27 million, right? You got the buyout and this, that, and the other, to $2 million, and you're backing up Joel Embiid. Yo, that is he just committed like career suicide, because he will never make, like, I don't think he would ever make no more than $10 million now.
Right.
Absolutely. And he like he's in his prime. You know, he's still going to give you, like, if you give him a shot, he still can give you 15 and 12. That's what he's been doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame to, you know, the same thing like with this guy Dennis Schroeder. Like, whoever is in his head, in his ear, man, they just made him, they put him in a position, and he was on the Lakers too, man. So you know, maybe it's a conspiracy or something. You know, these guys, they just have the wrong guys in their ears, you know, messing up their careers.
You want to go down that path? We could go down Dennis Schroeder, Andre Drummond. Don't forget Victor Oladipo. He was projected, like you said, to get $28 million. The Rockets was going to give him like at least half of that. I think the Rockets was willing to give him like at least 16 or 15, right? I think the Pacers was willing to give him like the 28. He turned it down from the Pacers. He turned it down from the Rockets. All that to be a free agent. What is he making right now? $2 million?
Yeah, he's another one. He's making like garbage. You know, so it's just bad decision making. Because I mean, it's one thing, like, you don't want to be on that team that you're on, and people just saying, you think highly of yourself and this and the other. But I mean, you got to be realistic and how you project yourself and how you look at yourself as compared to the rest of the market. Because that's the thing too. Like people put too much emphasis on the player that you like, but there's like a million players out there, so that you're able to you can get better but from somebody else in the NBA. You don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. So it's the same thing with the players. A lot of times they put all their stock in themselves, and they bet on themselves, and then they lose.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you never could, I mean, I guess you just got to be realistic with the numbers you put up. You got to go into the analytics because that's what. Then if your agent is not going into the analytics, then he's not a good agent because that's all the NBA is about right now is analytics. So when your agent look at your analytics compared to other players that's making the money that you want, you got to be realistic and say, what do you do that they do that that's going to be able to get you that money, So me personally, I never wanted Dennis Schroeder on the Knicks. I was like when it was come down to it and the Knicks didn't have a point guard yet. And it was like the Knicks are talking to Dennis Schroeder. I was like, please no, please no.
Well, break him down. Break down on Dennis Schroeder. Why did you say that?
Why did I say that? I think he's a little undersized, but I can't say undersized because Kemba Walker is undersized too, right?
Right.
But when you look at Dennis Schroeder, I think he's better than he is. He's a little overconfident as a player. Is he fast? Yes, he's fast. And then I think he messed himself. He played good during the season, right? But in the playoffs, he was a no-show. Terrible during the playoffs. His three-point shot was missing. He's not really that much of a good three-point shooter, and that's one of the things we hated about Elfrid Payton. Like, we're not going to go from Elfrid Payton to Dennis Schroeder. Like, we wanted our point guard to be a good shooter, to space the floor for Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. That's one of the reasons we wanted to get rid of Elfrid Payton. So it would have been like moving sideways, I think, going from Elfrid Payton to Dennis Schroeder. Yes, he could penetrate. He's a good team player, but I don't think he's good with space on the floor. And like I said, I thought he was undersized. But I know we got Kemba Walker, but Kemba Walker is on a different level. Like, he has handle. He's very quick, team player. He can shoot the rock. We've seen him carrying teams in college. We see him even on a bad Charlotte Hornets team. That he carried that team. He was like the franchise player. Michael Jordan loved him. He's a good kid, very humble. That's one of the reasons why, the Knicks liked him is because he's a good person and very humble. I don't need Dennis Schroeder here with his cockiness and overconfidence,
Yeah. I think that's the in the nutshell there. Just being a team player, the cockiness of it. Because I mean, like if you look at the whole Knicks roster, everybody seems to be the same kind of player. They all seem to be really good dudes. You never hear about them doing anything off the court. Everything is just basketball. Every time you hear anything about them, they're all together.
Right.
They're all in the gym together playing basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a guy like Dennis Schroeder, he's doing this. You know what I'm saying? He got the yellow streak in his hair. You know what I'm saying? He got 3 cuts in his eyebrows, trying to wild out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's on that level. And also, too, like, you're on the Lakers and they offered you a contract which is decent, and you said, nah, I want more. I want a max. You think so? So after what happened in the season and then in the playoffs, you think that you were worth the max?
Right.
I'm saying, like, who is in his ear? He might be in his own ear. Feeling himself, on that level.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
with the Knicks, I think that would have been a catastrophe too. Because I was kind of like, it's that old PTSD, man. Like, there was nobody else available. So when it came down to it, where there was nobody and there was only Dennis on Schroeder, I'm thinking like,
no, it was Dennis Schroeder and Reggie Jackson. But go ahead.
Right. So I was leaning towards Dennis Schroeder a little bit more, and it kind of was just like as if I was just waiting to just get my ass whooped or something like that. I just waited to say, listen, do I get beat up this way or that way? So you know what, let me go with Schroeder, and then I'm just waiting to get beat up. That's how it felt. But then when Kemba Walker came available with the buyout, they're like, yo, nobody was talking about that. See, that's another thing too about this media stuff. They like to push their machine to get you stressed out, but they don't even know what the fuck is going on. They don't know what's going on. Because how do you not know that Kemba Walker was gonna get bought out? You know why? Because you're too busy trying to say the Knicks are not gonna make the. You're too busy, trying to paint these narratives to get people to click. But meanwhile, the real news, nobody's reporting on the real news. So when he became available, oh my God, the light. The light that came on me, man, is as if as if like somebody just pulled me out and said, come with me, so I got you. You don't have to be in that pit waiting to get your ass beat, so. And that's
what we gotta understand, that we also have PTSD, like you said. Like, we gotta trust in Leon Rose. We should have known that Leon Rose had something up his sleeve. Not trying to say he was tampering or anything like that, but he probably knew all along, like, yeah, Kemba Walker wants to come to the Knicks, we're gonna hold that. We're gonna hold on that. We already talked to Evan Fournier. We're gonna get him signed. He really wants to come. I think they're all about players that wants to be on the Knicks now. We're not chasing players anymore. Listen, we're not gonna come flying out to your mansion and kiss your ass and tell you, look, this is what the Knicks can do for you. You want to come to the Knicks? You think this is a good market for you? You contact us. We're gonna have a conversation with you. But the days of us kissing free agents' ass, I think it's over. We only want players that want to be here. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Then say Fournier. Fournier wanted to be here since he was a kid. You saw the interview and stuff like that.
Right.
But we signed him first, so people was like, "Oh, why did we sign him?" This and the stress, the PTSD and stuff like that. Then when Kemba came available and he comes over, then now you see the big picture. It's like, oh snap, they play well with each other in Boston, and they actually liked each other. So this is something deeper than what anybody thinks. Like you said, Leon Rose and this and the other. Shout out to OKC. I forget the guy's name, but we had a dude that we pulled from OKC. So there's a connection there. We got a connection with that team. So whatever work that they were doing behind the scenes, they made OKC be quiet about it. And then we were quiet about it. There was no leaks. So that tells you how powerful the Knicks are. We have connections that so strong that nobody's leaking anything that we do.
Right.
Even with the draft, like the draft that we did, nobody leaked anything that we were doing. Nobody knew that we were going to trade the 19th pick for nothing. No. Nobody knew that we were going to go back. Nobody knew that we were going to get Grimes and McBride. Nobody knew none of that stuff. But all of a sudden they know for a fact that we're not making the playoffs. They just know the negative stuff.
We move into silence. And like you said, the media is always looking to put, dirt on our names. As soon as, free agency started and we got Fournier, they was ready to say the biggest losers of free agency is the New York Knicks. The biggest losers. Like, I can't believe it. Look at all these teams. They're getting this player. The Bulls, they got Derrick, DeMar DeRozan, and they got Lonzo Ball. I thought Lonzo Ball was going to the Knicks. Now he's on the Bulls. So the Knicks are the biggest losers. Like, all you got is Evan Fournier. They was laughing at the Knicks, So they like you said, it went from free agency to we being the biggest losers. Then they realized we got Kemba Walker. So now they can't say we're the biggest losers no more. But now it's, well, we don't think the Knicks is going to be a fourth seed anymore. We don't think that they're going to make the playoffs. So they just every step of the way they're gonna knock us. They're not going to learn their lesson. We're going to have to prove it once again. We got basically the same team as last year with upgrades. So how are we going to be worse if we have upgrades? Like you took out Reggie Bullock, who I didn't like as a player. He hit threes once in a while, but come on. You got to look at Evan Fournier and see that Evan Fournier is a way better player than Reggie Bullock. Besides shooting threes, he has heart. He can go to the hole. He slashes. He's a team player. If Reggie Bullock wasn't shooting a three, he was no good to you because at the end of the day, you know who they had guarding Reggie Bullock in the playoffs? You won't guess who they had guarding him.
Guess his name.
Trae Young.
Yeah.
They had Trae Young guarding Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock is 6'8", right? And he had Trae Young, who's like 6 feet, 6'1" at the most, 6'1" at the most guarding him. Come on, man. You think that Trae Young will get away with guarding Evan Fournier? Evan Fournier will punish him, shoot over him, take him to the rim, So that's one of the things. So that's an upgrade. Also, we had Elfrid Payton starting. Elfrid Payton, a guy who can't hit a jump shot to save his life. He was starting. And it took Tibbs to the third game to bench him and put Derrick Rose in as the starter, right? So Kemba Walker, you can have to see is way better than Elfrid Payton. So we upgraded at the point guard and the small forward position, and we was the 4th seed last year. But according to the media, we're gonna be the 9th seed. That's just crazy.
Yeah. I want to bring it back to that Trae Young stuff, man, because that's exactly a key thing there. Because now, like a coach like McMillan, he's smart. You know what I'm saying? Automatically, Bullock can't score. Trae Young, go guard Bullock because that'll save your energy. So as soon as they get the rebound, now you're ready because he was chilling. Because Reggie Bullock is standing in the corner, he ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So put Trae Young over there and let him chill out on defense, and that way he'll have all the energy to destroy us on the other end. So teams can't do that now.
Right.
You cannot cheat on the Knicks no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The only player that you could cheat on is Mitchell Robinson, but you got these 4 offensive talents starting the game. Mitchell Robinson is open. If you're going to try to cheat, the only player that you could cheat off of is Mitchell Robinson.
Right.
Alley-oops all day because all 4 of those guys can create their own shot, and they're all decent passes. Right. You know what I'm saying? So the alley-oop is going to be there for Mitchell Robinson all day.
And if Mitchell Robinson improved his game just a little bit, you better watch out. Like all he needs is a mid range. You know, we see him in the gym shooting and doing all those moves. We just want to see it. We don't want to see that, Mitchell. We don't want to see your Instagram and your YouTube highlights no more. Do it in the damn game when it counts. You don't even got to shoot threes. Just free throw line jump shot. You know when you're looking when Julius Randle was looking to isolate and they helping off of you when he kick it to you right there on the elbow. Just show a little jump shot. I know you can do it. I don't know if it's confidence. You know, it's like, listen, I have confidence in practice, but during the game, when the lights is on, maybe I get paranoid and I get scared. But he's bigger now. He's stronger now. You see him, in the gym working out. Hopefully now he besides added 20, 30 pounds that he got, hopefully that he added a mid-range jump shot to his game. But that's all he needs, a mid-range jump shot, and we'll be straight.
Yeah, he gave us a little insight to that too. He said the coaching staff was working on his jump shot because, like, not for nothing, like if you watch it, because you play ball, this fucking guy, his jump shot, when he gets it, he ends up like this at the end of the jump shot. Like, there's no way in the hell that I'm gonna say, hey, Mitchell Robinson, you shoot that jump shot, because he's smacking himself in the face with his elbow every single time that he shoots a jump shot. So I don't want him shooting that. But anyway, like you said, if the Knicks brass was able to tweak that and get him in, to at least have like decent form where you could trust him to then that'd be great. One thing too, because me and shout out to Evergreen. Last night, me and Evergreen talked about Mitchell Robinson for 45 minutes, bro. Yeah, it was crazy, man. But I'm actually cut it up so guys can go right to it on YouTube a little bit later. But anyway, just one thing, like every time Mitchell Robinson gets the ball, sometimes when the shot clock is getting crazy, because the Knicks always end up in a situation where somebody has to go one-on-one. So anyway, so Mitchell Robinson would get the ball, and then like all he would have to do is basically drive. The lane is open, just drive. You know what I'm saying? He cannot do that. So if he's able to simply like get the ball, swing it, maybe bounce it, to get a little bit closer, and make a layup, and that is key too. That's basic basketball. If he can get these little basic basketball things into his game, and I'm not asking him to be a 20-point a game scorer or be somebody that you're gonna back him down and give him, make it that we don't, I don't think anybody's asking him to do that, but just little basic NBA, not NBA, just basic like bitty league moves, man. If he can get those things in his bag, I mean, I don't know how you guard us. I don't know how you guard us.
Right. I'll just say this. I think it's, once again, I'm gonna just say it's just confidence. With Mitchell Robinson, it's all about confidence. Because if you go back to high school, he was doing that in high school. When you see him playing with his friends, when he plays in the gym with his friends, he's dribbling the ball, he's going to them, he's dunking, he's laying up. So this is the player that we thought we was getting when we drafted him. We saw what he did in high school. We knew that he sat out college a year and he was working on his game. He was working out with Anthony Davis and Hibbs, whatever. So we thought this is the player we get. I don't know if the Knicks. Well, this is a totally different front office, to be honest with you. So I was gonna say, I don't know if what's the guy's name, Steve Mills and all of them. When they was working with him, they were saying we're gonna bring you along slowly. Each year we're gonna add something to your game. Like this year, we just worry about blocking shots and setting a correct pick and getting alleys. Then in year 2, we work on something different. Then in year 3, maybe they was taking that progression stages with him. And this year, hopefully he'll show a little bit more of ball handling and a little mid-range jump shot. But speaking about progression, that brings me on to somebody that I forgot to mention as far as the New York Knicks being a better team this year. I don't know what you and Evergreen was talking about, one of the key players, but personally, one of the key players to me and how far the Knicks can go, whether they could be a top 4 team again, is RJ Barrett. Mine's is RJ Barrett. We saw in the first year how everybody was knocking him, saying he wasn't a good player and he was a bust and blah, blah, blah. He went in the gym, he came out, and he got a jump shot. And last year he shot about between 37 to 40% from 3-point range, right? So he improved. His game improved tremendously last year. That was year 2. Remember, this kid is only 20, 21 years old. Yeah,
I don't even think he's 21 yet. I'm gonna pull it up now. Yeah, well, he's 21. He just turned 21 maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, so this kid is 21 years old. I just want to say, keep the same energy for him that the Frank Hive had. Oh, Frank is young. Give Frank a chance. And Frank is blah, 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 blah. everybody was saying I didn't mean. I said I would never speak about Frank's name again, so I'm sorry for mentioning that.
I don't mean to cut you off, man, but it's hard. It's hard not to because it comes back to it because everybody has that imagination about this player. But then a guy like R.J. Barrett that you cannot root against, you know, and your shit. I just don't get that. I don't fucking get that. That is insane to me, man. But anyway, you know, go ahead, finish you saying.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, in year 2, he showed way more improvement in his game than Frank has shown over the 4 or 5 years that he's been with the Knicks, you know? So my thing is, year 3, if he take that next step up, year 3, I seen him in the gym. So last year, I think they focused on his 3-point shooting because they said his jump shot was broke. He improved on that. What I seen him working on is like Candy. Frank's name is like Candy Man.
Sorry. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yo, my bad. I think he laughed so hard that he kicked himself out the stream. I'm sorry. Yo, thank you, Jarrell, man. I love you guys, man. Jarrell, between Jarrell and Greenhouse, man, you guys are funny as fuck, man. Oh my god, yo, I'm laughing because you're laughing so hard you kicked yourself out the street.
No, you know what happened? That was the Frank Hive is still here. They said, "Oh, they talking about Frank." Delete. Yo, the Frank Hive just. Yo, I'm sorry, Frank Hive. I know you.
The Frank Hive kicked you out the street. That's what. Oh, yo, this is who did it. This is who did it. Andy did it. He came from Poland. He dropped a bomb in Poland on us, man. Oh my god. Oh, Lord help me. Yo, you need it? You need one?
Yo, so anyway, basically what I'm saying is that RJ Barrett, from year 1 to year 2, he got a jump shot. From year 3, what I see him working on is it looks like him and his trainer. I saw some highlights. It's like he's working on shiftiness. Like, I guess, you know, RJ Barrett's a little stiff with the basketball. Like, you know, he doesn't have like smooth transitions into his moves as far as like a Jason Tatum have. Like, he doesn't have the smooth step back. I mean, I seen him do it one time. I don't remember that game. I remember when he did it. I think he was on the right 3-point line. He hit somebody with a move and he stepped back and the kid almost fell and hit 3. I was like, woo, we need to see that all the time from RJ Barrett.
What, in Canada, right? You're talking about yeah. When he did that was like, woo, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So if he improves on just being a more, I like to see him post up a little bit more. When he has a mismatch, like he has a smaller guy on him, post up a little bit more, and then more shiftiness with the ball, just not be like real stiff with it. If he could show that this year, then, you know, and what was he, like 17 a game? Let's give us 20. Give us 20. Just 3 more points. If he could give us 20, 21 a game, because if you look at the improvement, if you look at players like Jimmy Butler and such like that, over their first 3 to 4 years, you saw the improvement from I think he's actually ahead of Jimmy Butler. I mean, I'm not trying to say he's going to be the next Jimmy Butler, but as his progression goes, as year 1, year 2, year 3, I think his timeline is projected better than Jimmy Butler's timeline was when he was with the Bulls.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with that. Definitely. I was trying to figure out what trainer that was, but it was Drew Halen. Drew Hanlon. That's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like the video you were talking about, he had him doing like a basic move, kind of like going like that. That's bitty stuff. That's stuff that you're teaching little kids to learn how to figure out how to do that in and out, and the crossover is that movement just to get the knees loose. That's something that we used to do as kids, you know, to try to get right. So I mean, you know, that's all that is important and stuff. But you know what I want to say about RJ is that I just think that even if he doesn't get that into his game, because I feel like that's a lot to do, because it's really like you just have, it's a concept. Like you have to agree to that concept to do it in order to get that bop and all that other stuff. Because like a lot of guys you could teach. Say like my son, for instance. I got an older son. He's about to be 18 soon. So when he was playing, I just couldn't get him like in games to break out of that rut where he would just drive all the way and stop and get stuck. You know, and then I'm like, yo, why did you do that? Like, do what I was showing you in the thing. So it took me. We used to argue and stuff. So then one summer, he said, yo, Dad, I got like when the school year started. He said, yo, Dad, I got better. I can't wait till you see me play. You know, so it's winter time, so he's in gym in school, and every day he keeps telling me, "Yo, dad, I was doing this, I was doing that." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, man." So as soon as the weather got better, we get in the park, and it just clicked. You know, everything that I was showing him, it just clicked. So I mean, that's something that I don't. I mean, it really takes repetition and stuff like that. So I think he can do it. But you know what I'm trying to say is that I think even if RJ Barrett doesn't do that, I think that just his impact in the matter with the four guys that we have that I'm talking about, he's one of those four guys. I don't like to talk about like first, second option, third option in a matter of a team. I think just what he brings to the table right now, even with the little step back that he just showed in the FIBA tournament, I think that that's all valuable, man. He's definitely going to be there as a defender. That corner three is definitely going to be something that's going to be his shot a lot. Getting passes on the drive, that type of thing. You know, it's going to be just basic what he does now is going to be so important to basically all the other players on the team.
Right.
You know, because Kemba Walker is going to love a guy like RJ Barrett. You know, Fournier is gonna eat. You know, in back and forth. Both of those guys are gonna eat off each other, RJ and Fournier. And then Julius Randle is gonna be like Trae Young was last year. You know, guarding Reggie Bullock, because he's gonna be drinking Mai Tais in the corner. He don't have to work as hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
yeah,
key
man.
That's a lot of key factors you said there as far as like RJ Barrett having Fournier and Kemba Walker will relieve a lot of pressure next time. You know, you got to worry about, everybody knows Kemba Walker, his reputation. You got to worry about Kemba Walker. You got to worry about Fournier. He could shoot. You know, it's kind of like the Hawks when they had Bogdanovich and what's the other guy named Schroeder? What's the other white guy that they?
Huerta.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Opie, but that ain't
right. Yeah, but they had like Fournier is kind of like equivalent to them. Like you can't leave him wide open. You see what I'm saying? You gotta, and even he's a good player. So all I'm saying is that having those two guys next to him should open up his game a little bit more. And Julius Randle, that brick wall that they was building against him in the Hawks, because they're like, listen, we're not worried about Peyton. And Reggie Bullock, you know, he's hot sometimes he's off. We're not also worried about him. And then you got your Noel down there. You know, Noel was the center. He can't shoot. So basically, the Hawks were just building up a wall and saying, go ahead, do your thing, Julius Randle. And Julius Randle was shitting his pants. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'll just say with Kemba Walker there now, Fournier and RJ, who should take another leap, I think it would help Julius Randle a whole lot better as floor space and somebody else who could create their own shot. He don't got to worry about, because, you know, if you notice, a lot of the times, Julius Randle, go, and he'll jump in the air and look to somebody to kick you out, because he feel like, well, Reggie Bullock cannot create his own offense, so I got to create it for him. You know, Elfrid Payton can't create his own offense, so I got to create it for him. When you have Kemba Walker doesn't need you to do that for him. He could do it himself. Fournier can create his own offense. He doesn't need you to do that for him. So now you have players you can trust that can handle the ball. The only person remember, they used to bring Alex Burke in the game because he was the only one who could create. You know, like we need Alex Burks. We need a bucket. All right, give it to Alex Burks. He's the only person we could trust. It was either Alex Burks or Derrick Rose, you know, that the ones that he could trust. But now we have multiple players that he can trust.
Yeah, that's all of it in a nutshell. You know, like we were talking about, we were breaking down each individual teams and stuff, but like for the last 30 minutes, like we were just talking about, you know, because everything that has to do with the standings here, you know, is really predicated on what the Knicks do. You know, so like, you know, all the stuff where people saying this team did this team then did that, they're not breaking it down like we're saying. Everything all the intangibles that we're talking about is going to directly affect this thing here. You know, so we don't necessarily have to break down every other team, because what the Knicks do is gonna dictate that already.
Right.
You know, especially when we play other teams like Boston. You know, they got Dennis Schroeder and stuff over there, but you know they should have got a center. They didn't get a center. What they decided to do? They signed that undersized guy, you know, to an extension. That's what they decided to do to improve your team. I just don't get it. And even R.J. Drummond was out there. Why didn't Boston sign R.J. Drummond? R.J. Drummond signed for $2 million.
I think they got Ennis.
Oh, and
they got
Ennis Cantor?
Yeah, I think the Celtics got Ennis Cantor. You know, he doesn't play no defense at all. So
yeah, and also he's not going to protect the other guys that you have on the team. But Ennis Cantor will rebound the ball. I'll give him that, and he could score inside. You know, but how does that help Tatum, and how does that help the other guy? You know, how does that help that situation?
To me, it doesn't. I think, like I said, most teams when they get in his counter, they like his rebounding, like you said, and his inside scoring. But he hardly plays in the fourth quarter because his defense is just so horrible that he's always in the bench on the bench in the fourth quarter.
And what's he gonna do against Mitchell Robinson? Because like now you have to cheat and stuff. So he's not gonna be able to keep an eye on Mitchell Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
In that way. Now Mitchell Robinson added all his muscle, quote unquote. So now he can actually battle Enes Kanter. Yeah,
Right.
Enes Kanter's not going to be able to just dominate him, scoring wise. He's going to be able to fight him now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all these intangibles and stuff. People saying the Boston Celtics are better than us.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get that because they didn't do anything significant to improve the team. I guess, like I said, Dennis Schroeder is definitely going to make them better, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But they, the way that they play, they really like they isolation basketball, so they're really going to be stuck with that. So while they doing all that, I think the Knicks could take advantage of them. Defensively, we could, and then now we have the offensive power to actually fight them back.
Right.
Right. Well, the three teams that they really are focusing on that was underneath us that they say is going to be better than us. We already mentioned the Heat. You just mentioned the Celtics, and the other team was the Bulls. So I think everybody's all hyped up because the Bulls got Lonzo Ball and they got DeMar DeRozan and they have Zach LaVine. But guess what? It's only one basketball that you have on the court at a time. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, I don't know how that's going to work out. They never played with each other before. It's a fresh. It takes some time to get that team chemistry and gel together. And Lonzo Ball in New Orleans, he was more of a spot up shooter. So are the Bulls going to do what Lonzo Ball want and put the ball in Lonzo Ball's hands? Because that's what he wanted. He wanted to be a playmaker. He wanted to push the ball on the break and kick it out to the wings. But last year, all he was doing was spotting up in the corner and shooting threes. So is the coach going to have trust in Lonzo Ball to give him the ball and put it in his hands? But because sometimes Zach LaVine wants the ball. Zach LaVine is another player that likes to create and stuff like that. And then DeMar DeRozan, all three of them is kind of similar. They all like the ball in their hands and like to, break down the defense and look for their shot or kick it out to their teammates. So like I said, there's only one basketball to go around there. I don't know if that's a good match, all three of them together, but
yeah, that's key right there. Because I mean, when he went to the Bulls, I automatically thought, okay, now they're giving the ball to because they paid him.
yeah,
That's another thing too. They gave him $20 million a year, $20+ million a year. So I'm thinking that maybe they trust him to be like the guy to have the ball in his hand, to be the facilitator, heavy facilitator. And, I'm thinking about it that way. So I'm like, okay, maybe they got something going. But adding DeRozan, that kind of changes everything because DeRozan can't shoot.
right.
So you need DeRozan to have the ball first so he can give the ball up,
Right.
to the shooters. So now what does that say? That to me, that says that Lonzo Ball went back to the same situation now.
Right.
He's going to have two guys that's ball dominant, and he's going to be the shooter now.
Yeah.
So they paid $20 million just to have a shooter, a
right.
corner shooter.
Right.
Oh my God! But they automatically better than us, though.
That's what the media says. That's what the media just go by. The media just look at the names on the paper instead of going by team chemistry and as far we already saw this has been proven over the years past. It doesn't matter the names on the paper. It matters about team chemistry, defense, and all the intangibles also go into winning. Not just saying like, listen, man, give me the 5 best player in the NBA. We're gonna put them on the same team together and they're gonna win. Shoot, the freaking USA team saw that wasn't working at first when they was losing those first couple of games, right? They thought like we got the best players, we're just gonna win no matter what. But no, they lost against France and they lost against another team. It's not all about names. It's all about team chemistry and how the team fits together. So go ahead.
Good.
No. I finished what I was saying. So I was just saying, team chemistry. You just can't put DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, and whoever together and think it's going to work. One of the things the Knicks did is say, you know what? We look at the analytics, and Evan Fournier and Kevin Walker had their plus minus was great together on the court together. So let's implement that into the offense that we already have and see how that works. They took into chemistry, not just names, as far as adding players to their team, and that's a key thing you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with all that stuff, man. But what I was going to say is just that the same thing with what you were saying, just about the names and stuff like that. They're not really taking into account how these guys can get together. I'm watching the chat here. Josh is here. Josh don't know how to stop talking either, man. So he's harping about the dynamic wing players. He's always talking about star guys. They're closers, and you definitely got to win. That that's you need those type of players to win. But at the same time, there's another narrative here where one of the guys was saying here about Bodega Wi-Fi. He was saying that Boston has a new coach. The coach that they had last year is now the front office guy. So now you're talking about dysfunction, in my opinion. That's like Isaiah Thomas when he was here. He did bad as a president, and they was like, listen, now you got a coach now. So now the guy that's making all the bad moves in the front office is now your coach. But they did the opposite. The guy that was making the bad decisions on the court, now you got him in the front office now. So what the hell is this? And then I mean, it's a lot of dysfunction. But why is the dysfunction better than a team that doesn't have any dysfunction? We don't have those problems nowadays.
Right. And then everybody, like I said, team chemistry. Everybody seems like they want to be on the Knicks. They want to be here. Zach LaVine. I mean, they added Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan. It seems like he's saying like he wants his respect. So let's not let the Bulls go on a 10-game losing streak. Next thing you know, Zach LaVine will be like, you know what? I want to be traded. So you brought Lonzo Ball in and DeMar DeRozan in, and now Zach LaVine says, man, I mean, this is the best you can do. It's still not working. I'm out of here. I don't think there's anybody on the Knicks that right now would just say like, I want to leave. Like that's not in no Knicks player. Like we got everybody who wants to be here. So that counts for something. So now you got to worry about, man, if we start losing, Zach LaVine going to request a trade, And so, and the Boston was a healthy all season. Now y'all want to call it dysfunctional, please.
Whatever. If it was the Knicks, it would be dysfunction. But on Boston, oh come on, they were injured and this that, and the other. It's just a narrative with the two different teams. And Uncle Fulio is a diehard Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? But he likes to definitely put his feet in the other team's shoes, which I appreciate. But his argument, if it was the Knicks, they would be calling it dysfunction, especially with the media, the way they flip everything into a negative way. It would be dysfunction here. But in Boston, come on, guys, they were hurt all year. What are you talking about? They're gonna be much. It's lighter. And then they'll people will laugh at you. When they say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's just like it's just not fair the way that the Knicks coverage is.
Yeah, your key additions are. Stop it, Eero. Your key additions are. Come on, Boston. I want you to be realistic. Your key additions are Enes Kanter and Dennis Schroeder. If that was the Knicks, we would be the laughing stock. Come on, man. Let's be realistic. Enes Kanter and Dennis Schroeder. Come on, man. Dennis Schroeder is not better than Kemba Walker or Kyrie Irving. Those were your two last point guards that you had, which was Kemba Walker and Kyrie Irving. Dennis Schroeder is not on their level at all. Then Enes Kanter. I mean, you might as well start. What's the other guy they got? Robert Williams. They might as well. Is he still on the Celtics? You might as well start him over.
Robert. I was trying to find his name. Robert Williams just got an extension.
Yeah.
What? He just got an extension. He's 6'8", 237. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see anything that he did to deserve a bag. They basically gave him a bag, just for I mean, he gave them 8 and 7. He did have 1.8 blocks, whatever. But a player like that,
Marcus Smart got an extension too, right?
Yeah, everybody's getting an extension. We was talking about it last night too. Maybe it might be the CBA because the CBA I think is up after this year, so everybody's trying to get guys under a contract now under the current agreement. So maybe that's what it is. But I mean, like giving money to these guys for no reason. These guys are just running the mill. Like you can find them anywhere, kind of players. Right. And they're just paying everybody like it's nothing. But meanwhile, Dennis Schroeder can't get no money. A guy like what's the kid Hammy in Detroit. He could have got a little bit more money, but Detroit lowballed him. He only got $5 million a year for 2 years. But bums like Robin Williams, these guys are automatically getting all these bags. It's crazy, man. I just don't get it. It's bugged out.
Yeah, I mean the bright side. I mean for the Celtics, you still got Jason Tatum and Brown, or Jaylen Brown. So that's a dynamic duo that you got. But other than that, man, I still think defensively, and the Knicks have a better team than the Celtics, and we have more weapons. I think this year you can't front on the Knicks and their weapons, and we're going to be one of the deepest teams in the East. Not to knock, if you're a Celtics fan, I'm not trying to knock you. I'm just trying to say, you do have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But when you look at the rest of the roster, the Knicks are deeper than the Celtics.
Yeah. They are going to have a competitive team. They're not going to be trash. No way I'm going to say they're trash. Right. When we play them, they might beat us one game. The series is going to be fun. You know what I'm saying? But just on starting up, team-wide, team to team, I think the Knicks team, is just better.
Right.
Anybody else on this list that you wanna harp on as far as these teams here on the East?
The Pacers, the Hornets. I think the rest of these teams are irrelevant to me. No disrespect to them, but I don't see. I'm not worried about the Raptors. They're talking about trading Siakam and looking for trades for him. He's like one of their best players now. They already lost Kyle Lowry, so I'm not worried about the Raptors. Definitely not worried about the Cavaliers. The Hornets, yeah, they got LaMelo Ball, but I'm not worried about them. The Pacers, the Wizards, no. We talked about all the teams. You got the Hawks, right? You got the Celtics, the Heat, and who was the other team? Yeah, the Hawks, the Celtics, and the Heat. That's the team that we're gonna be battling with mostly, and the Bulls. But the rest of these teams, I'm not worried about them at all. And the 76ers is gonna be down. I think the 76ers, they was the number one team last year. I think they need to be worried about the Sixers because I don't think the number one team they're gonna be the number one team this year. You might look at the Sixers dropping down to the third, fourth spot.
Yeah, they have. You want to talk about the dysfunction? They got a lot of dysfunction. Remember, we was talking about earlier. He won't answer his phone, Mr. Ben Simmons. And they've been trying to trade him all year. So I think the chemistry is going to take a hit on that team, big time.
Yeah.
The pressure now is on Embiid to really carry that team now. I mean, he's already averaging 30 points a game. So where's the rest of their offense going to come from, man? So they're not a guarantee to be in that spot again either. So 76ers is probably going to drop a lot next year, I believe.
Right. Absolutely, man. Maybe, I don't know. Ben Simmons, maybe he should just stop trying to be a point guard, go to power forward, and let somebody else run the point.
Yeah, I think that might be the best thing, man. Because I mean, his skill set, I think that he can take care of most power forwards because he's strong enough. He can get the rebound. He plays defense and stuff. He can't shoot. Yeah. So at the power forward spot, you can kind of mask that there,
right?
And then get somebody that can actually do something at the point guard spot,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But they didn't do that.
No, they didn't do that. So, I mean, I think we cover all we needed to cover as far as why the Knicks are not going to be a playing seed. Maybe we should go now predictions. Where do you think the Knicks are going to end up this year?
Well, I mean, I believe we're going to be basically right in the same spot that we are now.
Right.
Because I mean, you really can't predict wins and losses like that. This is all imagination. You can imagine, what they can do, but you do gotta give certain teams credit. Say like the like we said, the Nets, the Bucks. You got to give them credit because they made it to the finals and stuff like that. But they didn't get better either. They actually lost. The guy that won them the game. The last game, Mr. Bobby Portis. They brought him back, right?
Yeah, they brought Bobby Portis back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they didn't really add anything to the team to make them better. DiVincenzo is going to come back next year. So anyway, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be at the top. So you're talking about the Nets, Bucks, like you said, Miami Heat. Outside of that, some of these other teams are gonna be basically fighting us for that 4th spot. So I anticipate, just like last year, the Knicks are gonna go from 4 to 6 all year. And I think by the end of the day, I think the Knicks are gonna be right back there in the 4th spot again.
4th spot again, right? I'll give them, yeah. As far as wins go, I think we might be a little better than. I'm not gonna give you numbers. But I think we'll be more than 10 games over 500. I think this year we're going to do better than 10 games over 500.
Yeah, and at least that's the hope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams too, like Washington Wizards. A lot of people, kind of slip on what they did. They ended up getting Kuzma. Kuzma could probably give you 18 points a game. Once he's on a team that doesn't have to worry about LeBron James and all that pressure. I think he could probably give you 18 because he did that in LA already. So let's say if he does that, then you're talking about the Japanese brother, what I'm saying? He's over there. He's good. The other kid too, they picked up in the draft. I don't have the names up here, but they have a lot of guys. They also picked up, my man from the Nets. They still got
Dinwiddie. Yeah, Spencer.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie. Yeah.
Yeah, they still got Dinwiddie. So I mean, they do have enough players there, so they're a team that possibly could sneak and up the standings a little bit too.
Right. Yeah. Right. Absolutely. I'm just not a big fan of Kyle Kuzma. I know you mentioned him, but to me, he just seemed like a guy that would get numbers on a bad team. Like, yes, he would score a lot of points, but it would have no effect on the game. That's just the type of play he comes off to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think with him too, he's more like he's worrying about like his brand more than anything. Yeah, I think he loves the game. You know, and don't get it twisted. But I just think that he just doesn't have his mind wrapped correctly on his game. Some of the names too. It was Roy Uchimura. The other guy was Denny Avija. He might actually do something. They also have Bertans on that team. Thomas Bryant. Ish Smith, I think, is still there. I'm not sure if he left the team or not. But they have a lot of guys that they can actually probably sneak maybe into the playing area.
Yeah, definitely. That's where they was at last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, yeah, they'll be fighting with the Hornets and the Pacers for that playing. I think it's over for the Cavaliers. I think their franchise is terrible. The Raptors, I think they winning days is over. Yeah.
Yeah, all those are just bottom playing kind of guys there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's it, man. We basically covered everything. Thank God for Knicks podcast, right?
Right, and we didn't spend 45 minutes on one crazy subject.
On Mitchell Robinson. God damn it. Like I said, for those that don't want to keep skimming through that podcast, I'll cut it up so you guys can see the point when we started talking about Mitch Robinson. That was the podcast from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But today, man, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, that's D-Trav from Knicksatnite TV. Like I said, he's an all-star basketball player, man. So that's why he wasn't able to post as much content recently. Mm-hmm. But the seasons are over, man. So you'll probably see D-Trav a lot more, right?
Yes, definitely. You'll see me a lot more posting. Look out for me on Knicksatnite TV on YouTube, on Instagram. Catch me tweeting every once in a while. I'm not a big Twitter fan, but I'll throw something up there once in a while. But yeah, we back, man. We back. I look forward to doing more collabos with Die Hard Knicks podcasts and whoever want to do collabos. I'm here. Look forward to me bringing more interviews from players like myself, some guys that you want to hear from that you may heard of that was in the NBA or known in New York or street ball. Just let me know. Hit me up in the chat, and I could get them on the show. Ebro, you too, man. If you want to join in on a duo with one of these basketball players out here, like you said, you was talking about White Chocolate. I think it was before you started filming. White Chocolate used to be up the street from where you used to stay at filming that show.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the street ball White Chocolate.
Yeah, the street ball White Chocolate. If we want to get maybe we might get him on the show or Smush Parker or one of them. You never know. So
yeah, definitely, man. So I mean that's what Knicksatnite TV brings, man. He actually still plays ball and he knows a lot of these guys, man. So
right.
Hit the subscribe button, you know what I'm saying, and show these guys love, man. Stop watching ESPN. All these guys, they don't love us, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no interest in making the Knicks fans feel good. So if you want to feel good, go find a Knicks podcast that you enjoy, man.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna want to have you on the show also again, so we could break down stuff like this because I enjoy talking with you too, man. So I definitely got to have you back on.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man. So, yeah.
No, so thanks for having me, and like I said, look forward to doing another show with you. And somebody said salute to everybody in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure Ebro, you guys show Ebro love all the time. You know what you can do for Ebro is share with your friends, some of the podcasts so that he can get some new subscribers and they can check it out.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up too, man, so I can get a better fan because I'm just sweating my nuts off. Everybody keeps cracking on me. I'm like sweating, man. But what the hell are you gonna do? I got a thing behind me. I got a freaking hat on, and I got a fan blowing on me. I'm trying my best here, man. But if you don't hit the thumbs up, then I can't improve, man. I'm gonna be here, sweating my nuts off in these podcasts here.
Right. He needs some Centuria in the studio. So look out for my guy, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, man. So anyway, thanks for coming in, D-Trav, Knicks fan. It's gonna be Knicksatnite TV. Right. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Thank you to chat once again. And peace. Peace.